Alrighty, guys. James and Candace, my name is Nate. This guy right here to the right of me is Jared Ross. He created eCarrier Check. So today we want to show you guys how to obviously find brokers and find some carriers as well. It sounds like Erica's took you under her wing and you guys been making calls. So we just really want to add some brokers to I guess to your list to be calling and away you guys go. I know you guys been calling, so hopefully those calls have been going good. Anything like that before I kind of dive in
No,
here?
I think the nice thing with the class that you're taking, we've been a part of a lot of different dispatching classes.
Yeah.
I think the direction that you're going, where you're calling brokers, trying to find the loads, and then from there getting trucks under your wing, is the right way to do this. So you're under a good, you're under good supervision, if you will, with Erica. And so I'm excited that we're talking
Mhm.
today because that's how I would do it as well if I was a
Right.
dispatcher. So I'm excited about that. You'll be able to see brokers, carriers. And then we have kind of an Amazon-esque sort of filter system that'll really hit your sweet spot with finding the right trucks. You'll find that there'll be some kind of patterns with your success as you grow, and sometimes repeating that is nice to just be able to go, well, this guy was this old, this type of equipment from this area of the country. Let me find four more like him. And so that'll be what we really focus on is how do we find more people like the carriers you're already wanting to work with, and then find the brokers that make the most sense for you to be calling.
Yep. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll dive into the brokers first. I know you guys are calling them first or right now. So don't pay attention to the shipper tab here. We have we have two plans on eCarrier Check, and one is for basically dispatchers, and then the other one's basically built for our brokers and those types of people, right? So let's go ahead and just dive into the brokers, and you'll find your brokers under the Find Carriers tab. I know it's kind of weird, but you'll find your brokers right here. And you can come on here and start looking by location. So I'm not sure where some of you guys are, or where you're calling these brokers out of. Let's just say, if James is trying to find more brokers out of Houston, James can come on here and starts typing in Houston, and he can have a little radius bar. It goes, from 5 to 300, and then he can just run the search. And then now, if he's trying to look for brokers that, let's say, maybe have been in this industry a little bit longer, you can start filtering by company age for the brokers, and you can do the same thing for carriers. What's kind of nice is we built this really cool scraper, and we're actually able to start pulling in. Okay, I'm going to find brokers in Houston that have active broker authority, but I want to make sure they have a website. So James will have that ability to start going through some of these brokers and figuring out, okay, well, if they have a website, let me go see what they do and how they do it. They should have a feel, for what they do before I call. So this can help you guys just kind of just understanding, some of the confidence there. And maybe these guys don't have their website, fully going yet. Why's this not going? That's weird.
Is it freaking out or what's going?
Yeah.
Go
But
ahead.
but we have that ability to show you guys their website, and then their LinkedIn, right? So depending on what they have set up for their brokerage, you guys will have access to that. And I'll look into why this is. Okay, here we go.
Might have been just that
Yeah, it
website.
might have just been their website. So
Yeah.
these little three dots will pull down their website, their LinkedIn, or whatever they have, and we were able to scrape. Okay, so it's pretty
Quick
self.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell which ones are active or have actual loads in here or no?
That's a good question. So this little filter here will be automatically filtered for you, broker
Oh,
authority status. Now, if I called Action Transportation, just for an example, I would have to have that conversation with them on e-carrier check. I can't specifically say, oh, they have loads, ready to be moved right now. So that's a good question.
oh, okay.
Yeah, this will help you guys at least just understand, you know, maybe they have some flatbed loads or, if they're doing reefer loads, something like that, right? So we don't necessarily see that, oh, hey, they got some loads ready to be moved.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha. The LinkedIn feature is good though, because you can see what they're doing on LinkedIn and if they're active
right.
there, and most likely they're posting if they are active,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of people that actually stay pretty active on LinkedIn, and
Mhm.
that's what I love to see. Then it just makes a conversation easier. A conversation is super hard to have sometimes. So we just want to
Yeah,
try to make you guys' life a little easier with the conversation.
definitely.
So, what's nice with our system though, for those that are here and that watch this is okay. Well, how can I kind of use my data or this data that I just searched and export it? So you guys can actually export these pages. You can do up to the first 20. So if James is hammering through some of these brokers, he can export them, leave notes. Let's say he's able to have a good conversation with this company. What are they called? Agape Freight LLC.
Agape.
Agape, or yeah, I can't talk today, but he can start leaving some notes on the broker here. Just kind of understand, okay, this broker focuses on maybe reefer loads from Atlanta to wherever, right? A to B. So keep yourself organized and understand what these guys are doing, and leave your notes there. It's completely private to you guys. When I say you guys, I mean private to James and private to Candace on what notes you're leaving. So no one's going to see your notes. You can start your guys' self a list. If you guys have some brokers that are just you're finding some good traction with, let's just kind of pick on these guys, for example, add them to a list. So that way you guys can call them up and, start having those conversations. And when you guys start finding carriers, you guys can start kind of going back and forth. So you can make your broker list. Maybe this is your Houston broker list, right? Or your Atlanta broker list. So you can create your list, get creative, stay organized. That's what we want to help you do. So let me make sure I'm not missing anything. You'll be able to see if they have an asset to them. We'll show you this little badge here. It says carrier. So that's just saying this is a broker with assets. If you don't want to call brokers with assets, just come over here to the left-hand side and you can say, well, show me everyone that has no assets, right? So you can take those guys out. So, and we also dove into the equipment type. So I understand, that way you guys can understand, okay, if they're doing broker or if they're doing, drive-in loads or flatbed loads, we actually were able to pull in some more filters here to find brokers that maybe focus on, that say they do drive-in. So this is stuff we were pulling from their websites. Simple as that, really. We just seen that they're doing a lot of drive-in, look for those keywords, and we were able to start filtering them. James and Candace, do you guys have any questions yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory with the filters and stuff. So
Yeah, we almost wanted to make it almost like an Amazon. Jared loves to get on Amazon, so he's like, we gotta make it simple. So that way you guys can hop on and just kind of get going. But we're always here for supports, obviously. So don't be afraid to hit us up. So pretty simple. Choose your state, your city. Let's start hammering some of the phone calls and away you go. So let's go back to the find carrier tab. Like I said, I did the find brokers by location. We do have a way for you to find recently added brokers. If you're new to dispatching and maybe you want to reach out to brokers that are, new as yourself and start growing a relationship there, you can do that by finding the recently added brokers. And then we also
that's
have
a good idea.
That's not a bad idea. They may not have any loads right now, but maybe you guys could start building that relationship at least and planting the seed. We do have an advanced broker lookup as well, and you can just look up their MC, their DOT number like that, anything like that, right? So if maybe a broker calls you and you just want to kind of look them up and see who you're speaking with, you can do that right here, or you can simply just come up here and type in their MC DOT and hit broker. And you can also do that with carriers as well. So if you guys are starting to reach out to carriers, or maybe you run into a carrier on the side of the road and you're like, I'm going to look more into what this guy does, type in their carrier MC or DOT, and you can pull them up by hitting carrier. And there's the carrier that I just looked up. So, and we'll dive into the carriers next, actually. So with our carriers, pretty similar to the brokers. As far as filters, right? Find them by location. I can find recently added carriers. And then you can also monitor the carriers that you guys you're going to be having dispatching for. So that way you guys are on top of any wrecks. Maybe they got arrested, or maybe their insurance is about to fall off, right? So we want to keep you updated on that. I'm just come on here and do search by location. You guys will have 3 types of ways to source carriers. So we are not a platform to where carriers call us up and say, hey, put me on your system. We're getting FMCSA data. So anytime a carrier signs up with them, the FMCSA will start sending that over to us. And there's usually a lag, right? They got to go through their stuff and send us over the data. So there's usually a lag when they get in our system. So keep that in mind. But you'll have the first way is locating them by their location, their headquarters. So earlier I was in Houston with brokers. I can do that same thing with carriers. The next thing would be operating near. So if you're trying to find carriers that operate, let's just say in Nebraska, we'll say Omaha, we could find carriers that essentially have been inspected in that area. So they may not be from that area, but we've seen them in that area by inspections.
I think the benefit of this, from a dispatcher standpoint,
Mm.
is you're gonna call some brokers and they're gonna be like, well, I have these loads out of Omaha. And so when you're looking up carriers in those areas, you may find that operating near may be more important than maybe the located near, just for the sake of finding people that are working in that area that potentially want a dispatcher, that want your service, that want what you do. The value add that you have, and this is a harder sale, but you have way more value. Like you're above and beyond any dispatcher the way you're doing this, because you have the freight and you're not getting it in the typical fashion that a lot of dispatchers are doing, of just going on the load boards and finding you a load. There's no value to that, and so I really think that, there's you can do it that way. But the value that you guys add is you're finding freight that's not on a load board, that allows, those carriers to make a little bit more money. And so it's an interesting way of going about that. So that's why it's important to kind of filter for both located as well as operating.
Mhm. And we also have that lane function too as well. So if you want to find some carriers that are moving from Omaha to Sacramento, that'll be your lane. How's coffee hitting good?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the filters, like James kind of said, it's kind of self-explanatory. Only thing with the carriers is if you hit open decks or dry vans, if you continue to scroll down here, these filters down here will change. Okay, so if I'm doing open decks, well, here's all my open deck types here. If I hit dry vans, you can see how quickly they start kind of changing just for you guys. Okay, and then you can go through and look at others, and there's some power only guys. You can do some tankers in bulk, right? So I imagine you guys are probably gonna be living in the dry van open deck maybe world. Reefers, right? So
Yeah, I
there's your
think most of
reefers.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's your reefers and there's your reefer box truck. And then obviously the size for me, that almost came out very inappropriate. I'm so sorry. Size for me matters, but I was talking about carrier size. For you guys are probably more comfortable reaching out to those smaller trucking companies, right? So we can have that ability to start reaching out to owner ops, small to mid-sized carriers. We're gonna weed out those mega and large guys because they're probably got their stuff going on. They're doing what they do. Let's try to pick these smaller guys' brain and see, if these lanes match up to their needs, right? Or maybe there's something that they're wanting, and maybe you guys can start calling brokers and try to match them up and just kind of work together is where I'm going with that. So more options here is driver team, trailer jobs, first mile, last mile. We do have some hazmat on here as well. So if you want to look for hazmat people, carriers, you can hit hazmat. And then low risk, or I guess our hiring risk. We want to make sure you guys are reaching out to low risk carriers or elevated, right? We want to weed out the bad ones. So if you want to focus on those low risk and elevated, here we go, right? Here's my list that I can start reaching out to and start having a conversation with, right? And then company age as well. Let's reach out to those carriers that have been in this industry for maybe a little bit longer, or if you're one of those guys that want to link up with a new carrier and grow together, you have that decision. So you can
That's that's a great feature as well, because you'll get a lot of times you'll get brokers that say we can only use carriers that have at least a year underneath their belt. So then you could just go in there and pick those carriers and start to call those ones.
Yeah, that and like inspections. A lot of brokers don't want to work with carriers that have no inspections.
That true. That
So
too, yeah.
and we'll show you guys all that right on the carrier row. So this is the carrier row. You'll have the carriers, the name of the company, MCDOT, their risk radar. And if you hover over almost everything on eCarrier Check, we do a pretty good job at explaining why we're doing the way we do it. So here's their risk radar. Here's why they're risky, why they're low risk. On the left-hand side, you'll see a cargo breakdown. So what that's just showing you is, okay, how many trucks and trailers do they have, drivers? When they signed up with FMCSA, what are they checking that they want to haul or say they haul? So you'll see like fresh produce, refrigerated foods, et cetera, right? So you can kind of get creative with that. Yes, they do have active authority. If they were about to lose their authority, maybe it's insurance about to lapse, this little check mark will turn into like a little clock, and that clock will say hey, they're about to go inactive on this day. So that's something to be aware of. And we'll show you any changes with that company that are about to happen. Inspections, they have 5 inspections within the last year. This cat here has 0. So you'll be able to see how many inspections they have within the year. And then obviously what types of equipment they have, right? So that's going to be all there. Phone numbers, emails, we'll have that all ready for you guys. Just like I was telling you with the brokers, you can export the first 20 pages and we'll export all this information for you. And I'll dive into a carrier profile and show you a quick glance here. Overview, who they've hauled for. This is kind of interesting. I don't think you guys would have access to this if you don't have Logistics Plus, and that's okay. You're not going to be calling shippers. You're going to be, calling the carriers and brokers, but you'll see their equipment types when they're added to the FMCSA, physical address. You'd be calling and talking to Tom. Hey Tom, let's have a convo, right? Scroll down, you'll be able to leave notes here just like you were on the brokers. Here's their risk factors and the carrier snapshots. Okay, so all their risk stuff will be there. You'll be able to see their cargo and fleet, what equipments or trucks have they actually been inspected with. So this is really interesting to kind of looked into to make sure that these guys, who they say they are, right? What have they been inspected with? What are they moving? So there's some inspected trucks, trailers. We'll be able to show you active insurance. And then I love this part too, an inspection map. This is super nice to have an understanding where they're moving, or at least where they like to go. If this cat here, he seems to go all over, but he doesn't look to get into, the New York, Pennsylvania area that we have seen. So having a load going up in that area may not be his cup of tea, but still worth having a conversation. But you get to at least see where he's been. Anything you want to add? I've been kind of chatting.
No, I think you're doing a great job. I really appreciate how thorough you are. I think something that's really unique, again, mimicking that, success leaves patterns. Something that you can do, let's say Tom Hill is kind of somebody that you end up dispatching for, or you had a really good conversation and you're like, I want to do that again. We have a find similar carriers button here in a couple different places actually, but inside here, you'll see that we'll pull up 10 pages. There's 25 carriers per page. So there's 250 trucks right here that are all in that same area, similar size, similar equipment. And so anytime you can just kind of go, hey, I just want to kind of hit the easy button with who I'm calling. Here you go. And it'll give you the same people. So if you have a good conversation, mimic it, keep going to those same kind of type of carriers.
Yeah,
Because sometimes, honestly, some days you're gonna call. Here's what's gonna happen: is you're gonna call, you're gonna get frustrated. Nobody wants a dispatcher. You're gonna get just destroyed all day, right? And so one good conversation is like, "Ooh, that was different.
Yeah.
Why not
Right.
keep doing that again?" Yeah, I mean, I know you've all felt it. So anytime you can mimic that, the 3 buttons over here, find matching carriers, similar carriers, and boom. And let's go have more conversations, because anytime you can go from one good convo to the next, or having 3 a day instead of 1 a day is more important. So
yeah. The dispatcher calls are tough because we've also, just sat in with dispatchers, and man, they got it. Like, we don't want
Yeah.
dispatchers. You're getting hung up right away.
Yeah, that's why I teach them to do it the other way. So
yeah,
that way, if you're calling them and you're immediately getting into, this is what I have to offer you, this is how much it pays, everything about that load.
that's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's like an
Yeah.
offer that they can't refuse. Like why would I not want to go with you as a dispatcher? Right now, all I'm doing is looking on a load board and trying to piece together freight. If you've already made that easier for me, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's always interesting when you do have those loads. It makes such a huge difference in rejections and what people are going to
Yeah,
say to you. And so it's kind of an interesting way of,
yeah,
hey, I don't need a dispatcher. Yeah, I completely understand, but how do you find your loads currently when you're out of position from your current clients?
yeah,
And people can go, oh, well, I get on the load board. Perfect. I've already done the work for you. Here's some loads. I want to talk to you about the information.
Mhm.
And
yeah.
it sets it up so well. So I love that you're teaching it this way, Eric.
Yeah.
We need more people like you.
Oh,
So,
100%.
Thank you
We
guys.
need more people to find out about this, and for
yeah, we
sure,
do.
let's get this class up to 50. Um, as far as that, as far as how you guys reach out, if you guys do any texting, this is your export is going to be kind of your friend. If you text any carriers to kind of promote your dispatching business, you can do that. Obviously not from here, but I would use like easy texting and you just upload, your Excel sheets and then upload those carriers and text them right. And give them, some opportunity to come to give you a call and talk about those loads Jared was talking about.
Mhm.
So, because we'll have their phone number and their cell phone number at times, they will be similar, but there's times like this cat here, they're different, right? So obviously, if you guys are hammering their phone number, no one's calling or sorry, no one's answering, but let's maybe call, I picked the one with the hard name, Mustaf, and maybe text them, maybe give them a call on the cell. So yeah, really nice stuff. Like I said, throw these guys into a list, keep yourself organized, leave some notes on them, and then monitor them as you guys start dispatching for these carriers. Monitor them. Gosh dang, I can't talk. And stay updated. Stay updated on anything that's going on with them. You guys have that. Will have that ability to just kind of understand. Organization is huge. It's easy to forget things in this industry because things move so darn quickly.
Mm.
So we just want to help you out by, leaving notes, add them to a list, export your list, hammer it through that way. So, really quick, I think I nailed everything that would
Yeah,
really make sense.
You hammered it. I love it.
Are there any questions on the carrier side, guys?
Nah, not really.
Okay. As far as your list though, your my broker or sorry, my carrier broker list will be right here. So any list you guys make, you can come over here and edit, delete, whatever you need to do, export. It's all free game to you guys. You guys have no limits to searches or anything like that. You do have 12 lists that you can make that are personal, and then you can make 12 lists that you share. So essentially you can make, about 24. So but yeah, it allows you to just run as many searches and make as many calls that you guys can't make any anymore. And then and away you go. And like I said, Jared and I are here to support you guys. We're you don't, when you call us for help, you get us. You're not going to get put on hold unless I'm on a call, right? But we're going to help you. We can meet up like how we're doing it now and give you guys that support you need. So
Yeah, and
and
also, oh, go ahead. I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that don't get stuck in a box either when you're
Mm.
having conversations with brokers. I think it's important that you listen to all their needs specifically with equipment and don't be afraid to go into other aspects of maybe they need 40-foot goosenecks and things like that. So just be open to and just listen to ask better questions when it comes to just the equipment that they're looking for and lanes and loads, things like that. Just because you have the ability to go in here and find nearly anything that you can imagine. So
yeah.
Candace, did you have a question?
I'm already sold. I'm trying to figure out how to pay.
Right. How much does it cost each month?
It is $100 a month, no contracts. And I want to say Erica might have a promo code for you guys
yeah, I
too.
was gonna say get them something here.
Erica, do you have a promo code?
I think I might. I can't remember it if I do. So,
Okay.
if you want to send it over to me, I can get it over to them.
Okay. If not, I'll make
Uh,
you one and I'll get you guys a discount
Yeah.
here and for you guys that are on here today and obviously for your class too, Erica. But so yeah,
Thanks.
it's gonna be $100 and I'll get you guys a promo code and then it's billed monthly. So you're not tied in with us, but like I said, we are here to support you any way we can.
Yeah, it's nice
That's
because
part.
you get us. I mean, we're small. I mean, it's me
Yeah.
and Nate and two programmers that sit 12 feet away. We haven't outsourced our programming at all. And so anything we can do to help you guys, listen to your calls, do whatever it is, we're all on the same side of the table.
That's one of the things that I wanted to say because even like suggestions, like if there's something in the app that you guys want to see, I used to get on Jared's nerves all the time and be like, can you do this? Can you make it do this? Or and he'll just be like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me see if we could do it. And they would make it happen. So they're a small company. You can call them anytime. I hit up Nate all the time, like, hey Nate, can you help me with this? Can you help me find this in the app? And they're always there. They're always receptive. And that's why I've been with them for so long because it's like it's a great, great software.
Yeah, Erica's an OG. You're
I'm an
like
OG.
you're an OG. Like, I mean, honestly, you've been around for it. I love it. I mean, we're going on our 5th year and you've been around pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
It
Yeah,
is, yeah.
5 years.
I know.
That's
you.
great. But you guys did a great job with this software. Oh shoot, hold on one second. You guys did somebody said that they trying to get in. I don't see anybody trying to get in. But you guys did a great job with this software. Like it's literally everything. I use it in my brokerage. Like it's literally like one of my main tools that I have open every single day. Looking for carriers and even like things like the reefer box trucks that wasn't in there originally, and I called them and I'm like, hey, I need some reefer box trucks. Is there any way we can do that? And they put it in there. So definitely reach out to them if you guys have any questions, any concerns. They're super cool dudes. And thank you guys for coming in and talking to us about this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us and letting us join.
All right, thank you.
Any other
Yeah.
questions, guys?
No, I'm just gonna sign up and go about it this way as well.
All right. Hey, James,
my
give me.
options open.
I'll send Erica an email just right after this call, and I'll get you a promo code. Okay.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
I want a promo code.
Oh, yeah, you're getting it. I'll send it to
Okay.
Erica.
You
I'll let
get
her
a
do it.
promo code. You get a promo code. Everybody.
This is Oprah. Let's go.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you,
All right, have a
guys.
good
Have a
one.
good day.
Bye.
Bye. All righty. Let me stop the recording here.